Alright guys, I'm a little excited for this video. Please don't skip it. Pay close attention for the first 5-10 minutes. We're going to start off talking about Star Wars. No, clones in Scratch. So if you saw this horrible movie, then you might know what we're talking about. Okay, so in Scratch, the clone stuff is under control. And there's only 3 clone blocks, okay? So I'm starting here, but we're actually going to do a little shooter, a simple shooter game to get us into it, okay? And I'm going to kind of, this one might take a while, but I hope it'll be worth your time, okay? All right, so here we go. Create a clone of myself. Well, let's click it. Boom. And nothing happened. Well, or did it? Okay, so where I once had 1 cat, now there are 2. That's exciting. And then if I delete this clone, this doesn't work because this sprite is not a clone. And you can't drag this one over onto this one. So clones are a little bit dangerous. Just like in the Clone Wars. They can be your army, but they might turn on you. Anyway, okay, so if I check this out. If I click create a clone of myself again, it doesn't look like anything happened, but now where I once had 2, wait a minute, create a clone of myself. There we go. No, this is not what I expected. Hey. Oh, this is still just working on that first cat. Okay, this is different than I expected. All right, so check this out. If you hook this up to, when the space bar is pressed, create a clone of myself, I'm going to actually restart, hit stop, and stop clears all the clones out, okay? And you're like, who's the real cat? And I hit that, and sorry, space bar. It's going to add more clones, and I got 1 clone, space bar, and this is what I was going for last time. Okay, I'll stop. I'm going to hit space bar once, and I have 2 clones. Space bar again, and now I have 4 clones, okay? When you make a clone, all the scripts get copied to the clone, okay? So now whenever I push the space, the original kitty cat, sprite 1, gets a clone, and so does every other clone. So we went from 1 to 2 to 4. What's going to happen next? Are we going to go from 4 to 6? Nope. Every one of these doubles, and we get 8. If I go again, I'm going to get 16. All right? And that's kind of bad news eventually. You're going to get too many clones. They double every time. 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 5, 12, 10. And you actually, there's a maximum amount of clones in Scratch, so it doesn't slow the system down, okay? So I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to make these cats, when the green flag is clicked, forever, move some steps and bounce. This is one of the most basic scratchy things. It's just to make that darn cat move back and forth and bounce. And you can give him a random angle, or you can, let's give him a random angle. I could go try to steer him with this and change his angle so he goes at diagonals, but it'll be a little cooler if we point in a random direction. And let's go between negative 180 and positive 180, or 1 and 360. We've explained this before, I think, that you look at these numbers down here and see the minimum, which is negative 180, and the maximum, which is positive 180. There we go. And he's going to spin around all crazy like, okay? So he's always, forever, pointing in a random direction, moving random steps and bouncing off the edge, okay? So let's have him point in a random direction once, and then do all that crazy move, that flying movement, okay? So if I click green flag again, every time he'll pick a random new direction, but he'll keep going that way and bounce off edges, okay? The reason we're set it up like this is because I want to start making clones, and I'm going to do this. Yeah, I think we're doing good. Space. And you're like, hey, you just said that the clones get copies of the scripts, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. And are we getting doubles? Yep, we are getting doubles stacked up. But why aren't they moving? Well, because the green flag was only clicked once at the beginning. And if I click the green flag again, it's going to start over, okay? So that's where this, when I start as a clone block comes in, okay? So this is kind of the green flag for clones. And, well, what do I want them to do? I'm going to have them do the same thing that the original sprite does. And let's make a fail-safe. Let's say when I push the key D, delete the clone, okay? And which clone? Well, every clone, because this all these scripts get copied to the clone. Okay, so here we go. Spacebar. Bow, bow. Double kitties, double. Now, just for your information, the best way to avoid making double clones every time that I know of, maybe there's a better way. Sorry, let's hit D, delete clones. Boom, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And if you got this far, I hope you were kind of following along, but I want you to try to find the max amount of clones. Like, you won't be able to count them. And you know what? We could make a variable called clone count and start it at 0 at the beginning. And every time a clone is made, every time a clone is started, we'll increase it by 1. Let's see what this does. Okay, let's hit play. Boom, boom. 32, 64, we're 1 less. 128, 256, 30. Oh, there we go. Got a swarming mass of cats, and they're maxed out at 302 or 300-ish. Okay, that's just kind of some laying some groundwork. Okay, the best way to avoid having this problem of cats doubling every time is to take this script right here and throw it away off the cat. And that apple, when you push the spacebar, don't create a clone yourself, because those clones will clone their own clones, just like the machines will take over someday and humanity will be an afterthought. I don't know if that's true. Spacebar, create a clone of Sprite 1. Okay, so the apple, or maybe the stage, or somebody else is responsible for making the clones, and you only make one at a time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and we could rename this cloner, or clone manager. Okay. All right, now that's all my clone introduction that I care to give you for now. Let's do, we'll learn more about clones later. I could try to cram it all down your throat right now, but let's shift gears. And how long was this video? 7 minutes. What the heck? Let's make this required. I want you to do something like this, and we'll just make this a short 7-minute project. In the next one, we're going to make a shooter projectile game, and I guess that'll be the next project, because this is enough. Oh gosh, we keep going. No, I said it's enough. It's enough.